Time for the 49ers Rush podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? It is absolutely incredible to be with you guys on a Sunday. It's been a while since we've had a Sunday, and so I apologize about that, but this is episode 1123. And probably more important than that, this is the episode where we rank 1 through 17 now, the 49ers game schedule, which one's the most difficult to the easiest, why all that is, all how we, put into account. And here's what's really, really cool about this. This is the 6th time we've done this. And shout out to my man, Wallace Gray. He is a legend in his own right. He has created a Google Doc and went back. I didn't ask him to do this. He's just freaking awesome. And started tracking how I ranked all the games and the results thereof for the past, 5 years. This would be year 6. And so now we have a lot of historical kind of data that we can apply to this, 5 games. It's not the biggest sample size, but I think we ranked them pretty good. And so hopefully throughout this whole process, we kind of, the schedule comes to life and you can see where the difficulties will arise, where perhaps the 49ers can kind of skate through some things and all those different things. Now, there's a lot of metrics that we took into account to do these. I don't just look at the schedule and say, this is the hardest opponent, road game. No. Rest days, strength of schedule, Vegas projected wins, who the teams were playing coming before us and after us, traveled miles, I mean, time zones. There's a lot that goes into this. So I understand the schedule came out Wednesday. Here we are Sunday. I finished writing this episode yesterday morning. But just spent time kind of chilling after, all the Rush road trip stuff, getting all that site ready and the ticket process and all that. Like I needed like half a day off. So I was going to record this yesterday, but then I was like, man, you know what? I'm just going to relax just a little bit. Took like half a day off, watch my Mavericks, go Mavs, baby. Move on to the Western Conference Finals. That's freaking awesome. But so yeah, here we are. And really excited just about everybody here. What's up, Tommy? How are you, man? Raphael, Chris, all the hashtag CCs coming in strong. Love it. What's up, Grande? Kim's in the house. Guillermo. This is awesome. This is going to be a lot of fun. And I want you guys, what's up, Shane? Hey, Sin. I want you guys to let me know which ones you disagree on. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start at 17, the least difficult game, and go all the way up to number 1, and kind of talk about why each one of these belongs where they belong. Bobo, thanks for the super chat, my friend. He says, need to finally beat KC this year just for the morale. Yeah, you do. Yeah, what are the chances you're going to play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl again? Who knows? But yeah, man, you want that kind of monkey off your back. You got so stinking close. One play away, man. One play away. Got to get it done. What's up, Kenneth? He says, John, it's my 39th birthday. A live show during the morning workout. It started out to be a great day. Faithful, love you guys. Man, Kenneth, you are the freaking man. Really appreciate you and all that you bring to the community. Freaking hero right there, man. What's up, Sean? Oh, we got Chuck B in the house. My best friend, he's the guy that, helped us with draft coverage. He's an Eagles guy, but we don't get to talk about him too much today. Right here, Hassan Reddick will be the first pass rusher that Purdy will face. Ooh, I do like that. Yeah, against the Jets. Monday Night Football. It's funny because I don't think funny. You've got Leonard Floyd, who was the guy that hurt Aaron Rodgers week 1 last year. He was with the Bills and, that Achilles injury, that was Leonard Floyd. Now he's with us. And so he faces Aaron Rodgers week 1. And then you got Hassan Reddick, go back to the championship game 2 years ago. Now he's with the Jets and he'll play Purdy. Now I will say this. The 49ers have played Hassan Reddick since then. Aaron Rodgers has not played Leonard Floyd since then, so I don't know if that matters or doesn't matter. Hopefully, both quarterbacks stay injured free, but you got to give a salute to the Eagles fan. Never stop the grind, brother. You just keep doing your thing, man. Keep doing your thing. I wish we played them again this year. I really, really do. If I could play the Eagles, we're playing the Cowboys, which is always number one on my list. I would really like to play the Eagles as well. But we'll see. Josh says Jets will be easy work. Yeah, we'll see where I rank them. Yeah, right there. Yeah, one Drake Greenlaw away from winning it all. You're exactly correct. All right, so let's get started. Now, let's set a little bit of the track record here, okay? So as we go through, I'm going to start at 17. So we're not going in chronological order as far as the schedule and the dates in which they go by. We're going 17th easiest to one hardest. And for each one of these things, we put into account the Vegas projected win totals. Warren Sharp puts together such a great schedule analysis every single year. If you don't follow Warren Sharp, go check him out. Sharp and Analytics, just great work. And, you look at the top 5 teams as far as projected wins from Vegas standpoints, and there's a lot. When you say Vegas, it's like, man, there's so many different betting books and whatever else, but you kind of put all their numbers together. The Lions were 5th in projected wins with 10.5, Bills 4th, 10.6. The 49ers are 3rd with 11.2. Huge gap from 10.6 to 11.2. Ravens are 2nd, 11.3, barely ahead of the Niners. And the Chiefs are 1st with 11.5. What's interesting is we play 3 of the top 4 other teams. We don't play the Ravens this year, thankfully. But anyway, let's dive in. Let's go to game number 17. The easiest one that I have on the 49ers schedule is week 4 at home versus the Patriots. I think that this is September 29th, early kickoff. We only have 2 early kickoffs. This is one of them. The Patriots are a terrible roster, young quarterback, all that stuff. And that's another thing that kind of hurts the Patriots and what makes this a little bit easier. Week 4 is in that kind of, all right, are you going veteran quarterback or are you going Drake May? What are you doing there? I like Drake May a lot. I just hate the supporting cast that they surrounded him with. That is just a devoid roster. Now, you look at the Patriots' expected win totals, 4.9. Barely supposed to get to 5 wins. On top of that, the Patriots play at New York City against the Jets the week before. So they're going from New York, road game, all the way to San Francisco, road game. And I understand New York is close to Boston and all that stuff. I get that. But this is one of the few games where there's a 0 rest advantage for either team. So, the 49ers, we get screwed every single year on rest games, but that's okay. Now, the history of the 17th most difficult or easiest game, the easiest game on our schedule, just 2-1. We lost one game, and that was the Falcons, which we were at that game, 49ers Rush road trip, in 2022. That's when we had 8 defensive starters out. Marcus Mariota had the best game of his entire career, had 1 incompletion, and that didn't come till the 4th quarter. But yeah, we only have 3 sample size week 17 games because they just changed the amount of games. So that's my easiest game of the schedule, number 17. Number 16, road game, which I would not have put this where if you look at the schedule, week 10 at the Bucks, we'll be there. 49ers Rush road trip. This is my second easiest game on the schedule on the road against a team that just won the division, a team that is expected to have 8.2 wins, solid NFL team. But, and we'll see this on the flip side with some of those, some of the losses that came in the past that we didn't expect. Man, Tampa Bay, before us, they played Monday Night Football against the Chiefs in Kansas City. So you're coming off a game against the Chiefs in Kansas City. Now, they get the home game, but the 49ers have a +8 day rest advantage because we're coming off a bye. Yeah, we're traveling. I get that. We, West Coast, East Coast, early kickoff, that factors into it. But man, +8 days rest. That's going to cancel a lot of that out. And so this is my second easiest game. I don't really respect Baker Mayfield. I like what he put out there. And probably, I'll say this, one of my favorite schedule release videos was the Bucks one. It was just all nostalgia. And then Rob Gronkowski was in there. I understand he was with them when they won the Super Bowl, but it was like, I don't consider Gronk Bucks legend by any stretch. John Lynch made an appearance, which was really, really cool. But so if you look just over the, this 6 year, we're 4-1 against the 16th easiest game with how I've ranked them. So that's my number 16 game. So let's go to number 15. We go home. We're going week 5, and you can tell. So we've got week 4, we've got week 10, we got week 5. The middle of that schedule is kind of peppered, not with layups. I don't believe in that in the NFL. Any given Sunday is a realistic thing, right? I just said we're 4-1 against teams that I said is the 16th easiest game. Like it's not a gimme. It's not a gimme. And this number 15th most difficult game, or the third easiest, however you want to put that, we're 4-1 against this game as well. Any given Sunday is a real thing. And what complicates this is week 5, that's Cardinals. That's a divisional game. Yes, it's at home. The Cardinals are projected to get 6.6 wins per game. And somebody out there is like, how do you get 6.6 wins? They're averaging all of the Vegas sports betting sites. And that's where they came up with that number. So some have them at 6, usually 6.5. They always like doing the half so that you get paid or they get paid. That's kind of what they do. So that's October 6th, 105. Arizona coming off a 3-game home stretch. That's not a good thing. 0 rest day advantage. And, as we go through this, I think that what I struggled with, like I tiered all 3 of these games into 3 tiers. Okay. And I kind of came up with, there's 7 very difficult games. There's 4 where the 49ers have just a little bit advantage, and there's 6 heavily favored games. These are the 6 heavily favored games. So 7 very difficult, 4 decent advantage, 6 heavily favored. Now the 49ers are going to be favored in all 17 games. All 17 games. Now, injuries and all that's going to play into it. I understand that. But, the Cardinals, they're good, and they're improving. And, man, they're coached well. You watch the tape. They're not blowing assignments like they used to. I mean, when you replace Cliff Kingsbury, you're going to do well. He's the worst coach, man. He's the worst coach. And it's a big reason why I'm completely out on anything that Washington does this year. And again, Washington might start hot. They will not finish that way. He is a non-innovative, non-disciplinarian, non-accountability coach that just lets players do whatever the hell they want. And he's their buddy. And anyway, so going from Cliff Kingsbury to anybody, you're going to see an improvement. Even Kendall Roy from Succession. Anyway, that's number 15. So let's go to number 14. This one is I put them back to back. It's the Cardinals again, week 18. This is my 14th most difficult game, week 18 at the Cardinals. Again, they're 6.6. And I put them back to back because we don't know when this game's going to be played. January 4th or 5th. 49ers Rush Road Trip. We will be there. The week before this, the Cardinals are playing at Los Angeles against the Rams. So they have a division game there. We're negative 1.5 rest advantage days. Now, this one's been one of the closest. We're 3-2 against the number 14th ranked team. So we'll see. The 2 that we lost, though, one of them was the Rams last week game last year where we rested a lot of our starters, so who cares? The other one was the 2022 Chicago Bears rain game. Remember the Trey Lance versus Justin Fields? That whole debacle. My phone didn't work for 4 days afterwards. Those 2 teams have just, they just chalked that up as a mulligan and moved on. So I got back-to-back Cardinals. I just don't respect them too much yet. They've got to see a lot of growth. Number 13, speaking of the Bears, let's go week 14 versus the Bears at home. Man, they have built a solid foundation finally around a quarterback, which I don't think the Bears have ever done. Maybe not ever, but they've been terrible at it. So week 14 against the Bears is my number 13th game. 8.7 projected wins, which I think is a little high. Yeah, they turned it on late at the end. They're going to go through that's a tough division, and they're going to go through some growing pains. And Caleb Williams is awesome. And I wish we were playing him earlier in the year, but we'll see. December 8th, 125 kickoff. Chicago is coming off a Christmas Wednesday game at the Lions. So we're negative 3.5 days rest. And that's the thing. Like, you're like, I don't know. Somebody's like, man, why are these games, negative rest games, we should be more difficult? The schedule's peppered with them. The 49ers got screwed there big time. You look at the games by themselves and the travel, and you're like, ooh, this is a good schedule. And I even said that on the instant reaction to when they announced the schedule. Yeah, it's a good schedule. But then you start looking at the teams before us and what they do before they play the Niners, and it's like, whoa, this is as one-sided an affair as you're going to possibly find, where every single game, negative rest, negative rest, negative rest. You're hoping for a zero rest. Anyway, so the Bears, they get 3.5 extra days because they're coming off the Christmas Wednesday game. And again, I do a half day if you're playing the night game. So if you're playing a Sunday night football, Monday night football, Thursday night football, that counts as a negative half because your game's ending at midnight a lot of times. And if you're playing the early window, I didn't put a differentiation between early kickoff and 1 p.m. kickoffs, but I could. But man, even just traveling to those games, like sometimes whenever we host events and it's an early kickoff, I'm like, oh, I could fly back that night. You can't do that whenever it's a late game. You're like, no. Not only can I not fly back that night, I cannot fly back early in the morning because we will be partying. That's what we're going to be celebrating victories on the road. It's what we do. So it changes the way. Now, obviously, the players aren't doing that. They're not allowed to drink on the flights and all that different stuff. But trust me, it matters to your clock. It does. So the Bears, now here's what's crazy. Against the 13th ranked team or game, we're 5-0. So hopefully we can continue that 6-0 stretch. We have never lost to one of those. This is 6th year we've done this. We're 5-0. Let's keep that going. All right. Then we come to number 12. This is week 2 at Minnesota. We'll be at that one too. 49ersrushroadtrip.com. They're going to take huge steps back. And man, I really want this to be a Sam Darnold, Brock Purdy game. Oh, I really want it. I really, really want it. Vikings are projected to get 6.8 wins. When does that switch from Darnold to McCarthy take place? Probably not before September 15th, which is my birthday. September 14th is my birthday, so we'll be partying together if you're coming out. Early kickoff, I hate that, but that's a 12 noon kickoff in Minnesota. Now, you look at the Vikings, they're playing at New York City, the Giants, the week before, so they've got to travel. We're traveling from San Francisco to Minnesota. They're traveling from New York to Minnesota. Not a huge advantage there. But because we play Monday Night Football, the Vikings, guess what? Get plus 1.5 days rest over us. That's what it is. That's the theme, man, of this schedule. Now, against the 12th most difficult team on our schedule, we're 5-0. These are the type of games that the 49ers have taken care of in the past. Hopefully that continues. Let's see here. Let's do one more. Let's do number 11 because this is, oh no, we've changed. So actually my notes are wrong. This is where I got the break built in because that changes the heavily favored games. Those are, if you want to say layups, if you want to say easy games, if you want to say whatever, I mean, there's 2 divisional games in there. You're playing at the Bucks, a team that won their division, Minnesota, Bears, there's some easy games in there, but this is where the tier changes from very favored games to slight favored games. Now, if you're traveling anywhere with the 49ers this year, we got you. All right, 49ersrushroadtrip.com is live. Tickets are available for all of our road trips this year. Just go to 49ersrushroadtrip.com, click here for tickets. brings you to our landing page here, and you can see all the events that we're doing. And so once you pick an event, you just click on 49ers Bucks, scroll down, you can see our pre-party, you can see our tailgate, you pick what you want to do there, and right now the prices are as low as they're ever going to be. They only go up. So we got early bird pricing till we sell a certain number of tickets. You can check out there. You get a QR code ticketing site, which we built ourselves, which I'm so excited about, is incredible. Now, if you want more, you can click on our True Fan travel link. And so let's say you want to go to Tampa. And you can kind of see, you can put your deposit down now. Flights, transportation, hotel, parties, all that stuff, game ticket, you name it, it's there. It's a $300 deposit per city. And you've got several weeks for a refund policy if you want to as we build out these packages. And once we built that out, then we'll give you that opportunity to, hey, do you want in, do you not want in? And then we'll move on from there. So lots of options are available for you guys. 49ersrushroadtrip.com. Go party with the faithful. Now, one thing that I do just kind of want to make sure everybody understands, the parties that we are hosting, Vikings, at Seattle, at Tampa Bay, at Buffalo, at Cardinals. Now, whenever I don't go to road games, I get 40 to 50 emails and text messages. Where's the party at? Where are we going? What are we doing? To which I always respond, I'm not there, which sucks. So with the road games that, we're not going to be at, we're still hosting events. I just won't personally be there. True Fan's going to help us with that, and some of my teammates are going to be there. So, if you're going to the Packers, we are organizing parties, and you can get those on the site. I'm just letting you know I can't be there for those. I've got stuff at home I got to take care of. So the Miami and the Packers game, I'm not going to be able to be at those ones. And shout out to Don Burr. I see you in the chat, chopping it up, talking to your trash. Appreciate you, man. You do your thing. We're glad that you're here, and we're glad your team's relevant, and you should be talking trash. But come on, man. If there's teams to talk trash to, it's probably not us. Who's the one that ended your season? And yeah, you guys are good. And you look at the projected win totals, you guys are projected to get 10.5. That's incredible. 49ers projected to get 11.2. And the good news is we'll be playing each other at the end of the year. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. And that was the best game of the year last year. The best regular season game last year was the Cowboys experience. That was so cool for me, just being there. But the best game overall was definitely the Detroit Lions game. Niners are basically choke artists. No fear at all. Yeah, dude, you can't, you haven't even been to a Super Bowl in your franchise's history. You guys were up 17 points in the second half and lost. So I don't know if you want to go that far, Don, but we appreciate you, man. It's okay. I understand. Copium has got to be running high, and you got to do what you got to do. It's rough for me. Like, I love Detroit Lion fans. I really, really do. The draft events and all the stuff we do, and I just can't imagine chanting Jared Goff's permanent dumb face name as like a sign of pride. I just don't get that. Another beat down. Nobody's beat us down. Like, you've never beat us down. You've never beat us down, Don. I appreciate you, bro. You're awesome. And I really am a fan of yours. I hope one day we get if you come out, man, let me know. Drinks on me, buddy. I would love to hang out and whatever, talk some history. That'd be awesome. So thank you, Don. Really appreciate you. Y'all be nice to Don in the mentions now. He's a good dude. Great dude. All right, now the 11th toughest game, and this goes to the middle tier. There's 3 tiers that I broke down the schedule. Week 16 at Miami. That's a long flight. That is a long flight, man. And I really wanted to go to this game. I hate that they made it right before Christmas. Just looking at the flights, it was just like, man, there's no way I want to be able to do this. But this is a hard one. They're projected to get 9.9 wins. Now here's what's crazy. The Dolphins play at Houston against the Texans the week before us. Listen to the 3 games the Dolphins had before us. At Green Bay, then they're at home against the Jets, which is a division game. If Aaron Rodgers is healthy, that's a tough game. Then at Houston. Like, that's 3 tough games before us. And on top of that, the 49ers, this is one of 2 games where we get a plus rest advantage. We get 2.5 days extra rest. Now, if we look at the history against the 11th toughest game, we're 4-1. We're 4-1. A lot of this has a lot to do with just, the 49ers have been a really good team the past 6 years or 5 years, going into 6 years. So they're going to have a lot more wins against, losses against these types of teams. So that's the number 11, the Dolphins. Number 10 is the week before. We got divisional game. Week 15 at home versus the Rams. Rams projected to get 8.5 wins. This is a Thursday night football game, divisional. I don't know if I hate or if I like. I keep going back and forth. We have 2 Thursday night football divisional games, one against Seahawks, one against the Rams. Those are going to determine who wins the division. Now, obviously, the 49ers have, 2.5 game advantage on projected wins. Plus, you look at the historical, the 49ers have owned the Seattle Seahawks and the Rams in recent memory. It's not even close. Coaching change up in Seattle, we'll see. But does the Thursday night games give Kyle Shanahan a huge advantage? I think it does. Because he's had such an advantage against these teams. Now, McDaniel up top, McDonald. I'm going to keep doing that. Mike McDonald, the new head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. I keep calling McDaniel, and I apologize. But anyway, you look at this game, week 15, Thursday night football against the Rams. The week before us, the Rams are playing Buffalo, but at home. We're playing the Bears at home. There's no rest advantage for either team. That's huge. And so they're traveling on a short week. We're staying home on a short week. So there's something there. LA to San Francisco is not really much, and they play there every year, so I get that. But we're 4-1 against this 10th ranked team, or most difficult game. And so that's a big one. And I know that I have it as 10 as most difficult, but this is like one of my top 3 most important games of the year. You got to beat the Rams. You got to win the division. I will never move away from that. The coaching, it just won't allow me to do so. It's the most important thing. So that's number 10 against the Rams. Number 9, guess what? Back-to-back Rams games. Week 3, we travel to Los Angeles. It's Levi's South. I understand that. But here's the thing. The Rams play at Arizona the week before. So that's back-to-back divisional games for the Rams. We're playing at the Vikings, then going down to Los Angeles. Not too much further of a trip. 0 rest day advantage, which I do appreciate that they did that. We're 3-2 in the past 6 years. 3-2 against the 9th ranked team. So bet those 2 Rams games, I got number 9 overall and number 10 on difficulty. One, just because Shanahan's got his number. It's not even close. And until that changes, they had that one game, lots of reasons why we lost in the NFC Championship, but dropped interception, whatever else. Like, the game was coached to win the game, and I believe that. The players didn't execute that one, and that's the anomaly. I mean, you've completely dominated this team. Now they don't have Aaron Donald. We'll see. Number 8, where we start the season off, baby. Week 1 against the Jets. Jets are projected to get 9.6 wins. Vegas loves some Aaron Rodgers, and it's a solid squad. They've just had terrible coaching, and they've had terrible quarterback play. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers can fix that for both sides. It's one of the worst coached offense. Can't believe they kept Hackett. I do like Robert Saleh, but that is just not a healthy offense. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers can cover up all the mess that is there. Monday Night Football game, obviously. Both teams coming off a bye because in the new CBA, you have 3 preseason games, a week off, and then you start week 1. So now against the 8th difficult team, we're 2-3. We're 2-3 against that 8th difficult. And this is the first time we've had a negative kind of turnout against one of these games. And this is the last game we should be favored or decently favored. The very difficult games start right after this. And that's where we go to number 7. Week 6 at Seattle. That is a tough one. It's a Thursday night game, like I talked about earlier. Seattle's coming off a home game against the Giants. That sucks. So we travel. There's 0 rest day advantage. But again, playing at Seattle, one of my favorite atmospheres to go to in the NFL. I love it. I love going to games there because it's so rowdy. That stadium, I freaking love that stadium. I hate how much I like it there. Because their fans, they're mean. They're all new, so they got energy. There's no old fans in Seattle. But that's a tough place to play. We're 2-3 against the 7th most difficult game. And that one's huge. Winning at Seattle, which we've done recently. Can you keep that up? Can you? We'll see. Number 6, where's Dodd Bird? Hopefully you're still here, buddy. Number 6, week 17 against the Lions at home, Monday Night Football. This is the 6th most difficult game. There's 5 other tough games that are harder than the Lions, and we'll see how it goes and all this stuff, whatever. Look, Detroit plays at Chicago the week before. There's a 0 rest day advantage for either team. We're 4-1 against the 6th seed. And I feel like I need to spend some time going through the chat. There's a lot of Lions talk. Bronson, Lions fans talking smack is as relevant as Cardinals fans talking smack. But hey, at least Arizona's been in a Super Bowl. There you go. There you go. And yeah, I don't know. Lots of Don Bird talk right there. I love it, man. And I'll say this, like, the Lions fans showed up to that game. The NFC champions, they showed up, and they were talking a lot. And so I had a lot of Lions fans behind me. They were talking mad trash that whole first half, except for one guy. I wish I would have got his name just so I could reference him. He was sitting in front of me, and, he's wearing a Barry Sanders jersey. And he kept turning around. And he's like, they need to not talk. Like, we've seen worse things happen before. And this is when they were up 17. He's like, yeah, we're not out of the woods yet. And as, the Ayuk catch and just then the fumble, all that stuff. And they just started choking and choking and choking. And their coach just cost them that game. That's the thing. A big reason why I can't respect the Lions is because they still have the same head coach. And just, yeah, rah, be caveman, go all the time. Like, no, like, I'm sorry, man. I get that physicality and toughness is your demeanor and your team spirit and all that stuff. And I've coached with coaches like that. I hate to say this, it wears off and it gets tiring. It really, really does. I don't know. They're good, and I think they're going to, make the playoffs. I think the Packers win the division, but I think that they are probably the 6 or 7 seed, 5, 6, 7 seed. They're a good team. They could win this game very easily. They could beat the 49ers in San Francisco. It's in my difficult tier. But I don't know, man. I don't know. No rest advantage. They have to travel to us. We're 4-1 against 6th rated games in the past 5 years. 4-1. So we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. So Don, I hope you're around. I hope you come down. If you do, reach out, man. I'd love to meet up and we'll talk and all that stuff. Week 5, or the number 5 game. We're in the top 5 now. Week 13 at Buffalo. We'll be there. Let's go. 49ers Rush road trip. I can't wait on that one, man. My Canadian brothers and sisters are coming down. I'm super excited about that one. God, it's going to be so much fun. But it's difficult. You start looking at one. Bills are a good team. They're projected to get 10.6. I don't know if I buy that. I'm buying the under. They lost a lot of starters, but they still got Josh Allen. They still got a solid coaching staff. But that's a Sunday night football game in December in Buffalo. It's going to be cold, baby. I'm bringing the onesie. I'm bringing the onesie. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to be completely just like covered. Snow boots, doing the whole thing. Now we've got a -7 rest advantage. I actually think the Lions are a better team than the Buffalo Bills. But we're playing at Buffalo versus Lions home and -7 days rest advantage. But I'm not that sold on Buffalo as a lot of other teams on this list. Now, I understand some people would have, oh man, I read the wrong one. I messed up. I messed up everything. My whole my whole show just got jacked. Spoiler alert, Buffalo is not here. I messed up the order. I highlighted in red, and I got that one confused. So number 6 is the Lions game. I love this. Live shows are the best. But if this wasn't a live show, I'd have to start over. And I don't want to start over. Anyway, number 5. My number 5 game is at the Packers the week before Buffalo. So 6 is Lions, 5 is at the Packers. Packers are projected to get 10.1 wins. You know, the Packers play at Chicago the week before, 0 rest advantage to either one. We're 2-3 against the 5th ranked game. We're 2-3. You get into here, and that's what's crazy. Like, you look at, you know, being 2-3. What does that say? Being 3-2. What does that mean? That's a toss-up game. And in the NFL, you're not supposed to win all the games. I know in this Madden mentality, this new culture, like if you lost your last game, you suck, you're all losers. That's just not real. There's never been an undefeated team to win the Super Bowl. You go back to 1972, it was a 12-game season. It was a 12-game season. They went 12-0, and they won 3 games, and they won the Super Bowl. So I get that. Yeah, you got the Patriots who went 17-0. They didn't win a Super Bowl. Like, teams lose. Teams lose. It's what it is. So 2-3 against the 5th over. I think the Packers are a damn good team. Very easily could have beat us. Very easily could have beat us. What's up, Tommy? Appreciate the super chat, brother. About to be 3-0 versus Dan Gamble to toilet. Oh, I like that. Man, Tommy, you got a gift, buddy. I ain't gonna lie. He messages me all this hate stuff about my Texas Longhorns all the time. But you're good with words, buddy. To toilet, Detroit. I like it. I like it. Yeah, it's what it is. I don't know if you guys watched the Sims, the Chargers schedule release. Probably one of my favorite things every year. Charger social media is incredible. But whenever they did Cleveland, they had the billboard in the background that said, "At least we're not Detroit." And I don't know if you guys have watched the Cleveland tourism video. Please go type that in when you're done with this. Just type in Cleveland tourism video. It's 2 minutes. It's some of the greatest YouTube produced material that's been out there. That's taking a shot at Cleveland and Detroit at the same time. Shout out. Boom. Check. I don't like either of those cities. But anyway, number 5, at the Packers. Number 4, 4th most difficult game this year, at home versus Seattle. Now, we had the road game against Seattle way earlier. Why is the home game against Seattle so much difficult? Well, here's why. We got -7 rest day advantage against a division opponent. That's stupid. That should never happen. It should never happen in the NFL. It should be outlawed. It's dumb. Seattle's coming off a bye, and then before that, they have a home game against the Rams. Like, now, they do play Cardinals after us, so that is 3 consecutive division games for Seattle, but you're giving them a bye week right before they play us. It's ridiculous. We're traveling from Florida the week before. They're coming off a bye week. -7 rest day. Like, that is just horse manure from the NFL. You don't do this to teams it should be outlawed. This should have been vetoed. This is like, I get the complaint against Buffalo, and we'll talk about that in a minute. This is stupid. You don't do division games like this. You don't do this. It's dumb. It is absolutely asinine that the NFL allowed this to happen. My biggest complaint in the schedule. It's just, you don't do that. You don't do that in the middle of the year. So we're 2-3 against the 4th most difficult schedule of the season. Number 3. Oh, before we get to number 3, Sin, appreciate the super chat. She says, John, what will our defense even look like, especially in stopping the run? You know, we got a lot of cheap replacements at positions we quote-unquote lost. Like, you lost Armstead, you replaced with Malik Collins. Like, he's a lesser version, but you're paying him considerably less. Considerably less. You lose Cleveland Farrell and Chase Young. You replace that with Leonard Floyd and Yetur Gross-Matos, which that's kind of on par. If you look at the salaries that all 4 of those players got, the 2 we lost and 2 we got are about the same. So that's not necessarily a downtrend. We're way more consistent with Leonard Floyd over those other 2 guys. Yetur Gross-Matos, we'll see. Linebacker, Dre Greenlaw's out. He's going to be injured for the first 2 months of the season probably. What do you replace him with? Devondre Campbell and a bunch of young pups. That's a loss. So we got to see. Is Hufanga back? That's huge. Is Malik Mustafa, going to get some snaps? If not, is Renardo Green your starting nickel corner as a rookie? Probably not early. So if you're moving Debo to the slot at nickel packages, you're bringing in Isaac Yiadom or Darrell Luter Jr., how's that going to pan out? Those are all physical corners. The Niners have stocked up on physical corners. Ambry Thomas, there's no room for you here. Maybe that changes because Ambry Thomas was physical at training camp. He was physical in the preseason. He was physical the first month of the season, and then he got laxed. And we've seen this with Ambry Thomas where just after a while, he was a healthy scratch. He refused to make contact as a defensive player down the stretch, and that's why he got benched. So we'll see what happens there. I'm not overly concerned. I think we'll have a top half stop the run. Will we be the best at it without Greenlaw, without Armstead, without Farrell? That's going to be interesting to see. Now, if we look at the early parts of the schedule to figure it out, you're playing the Jets, Breece Hall, amazing run. Yeah, great. You're playing the Vikings. They just got Aaron Jones. You're playing the Rams. They got Kyron Williams. Patriots, that's a joke team. Cardinals. So, if we're just looking at the games early on, we'll see. Breece Hall is a beast. He is a beast. Brock Purdy's former teammate. We're going to see it. And Josh, look at this. Josh Tippin. The 91 roster countdown is coming soon. We have been working ridiculously hard behind the scenes. Josh is, dude, just killing it over there. And Evan Anderson, our undrafted free agent, is a secret weapon to stop in the run. We'll be talking about him soon in our 90-man roster series. And so we'll be leaking those. We'll be putting out the 90-man roster series on YouTube as standalone episodes, will not be live. And then we'll cut those to audio platform where we'll do like 3 of them into one audio episode, and then we'll release that on the audio side. So if you're like, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever, you'll get that there. But they're not going to be live shows like this. So they'll be in addition to. And so it's funny. Maybe it's not funny. My wife's not here, so she can't hear me say this. I should be taking more time off. But man, I just love doing these 90-man roster series just because I learn more. And hopefully we all learn more. So that's coming your way soon. Right here, Josh, this is a statement I could get behind. He says, Michigan players suck in general. The Wayne Breezy show, which it's coming back soon. Don't worry. Wayne's the man, but that's what it is. I do not like Michigan. And the fact Texas opens up, I think it's week 2. They play Michigan this year. I'm so excited about that. We are going to wipe the floor with that team. They lost so much, but yeah, Texas is going to put them in their place. All right. Let's calm down. Let's get back. Our third most difficult game this year. At home versus the Dallas Cowboys. I had to kind of put my bias away on this one because I have zero respect for that trash franchise. I have zero respect for the ownership. I have zero respect for the coaching staff. Zero. Zimmer, I kind of respect. But, man, they lost a lot. But they still have a lot of core chief top-end pieces in play. They didn't replace anything that they lost. They really didn't. But they're still projected to get 10.4 wins. I think the NFC East might be the worst division in all of the NFL. I don't think the Eagles, we'll see if they can rebound to just an adequate franchise. But I think, I'm not sure they can do that. They got exposed. We exposed them completely. So we'll see what happens. Then you look at the, Washington, God, no. Ugh. No. Giants, no. I mean, you're talking 2 floor franchises out of 4. And anyway, not a good team. So they're going to get their wins, the Cowboys, just because their division sucks. It's a Sunday night football game. Cowboys are coming off a bye week. Not only are they coming off a bye week, they're coming off a home game before the bye week. So -7 rest advantage. Now, I don't mind this because it's not a divisional game, but Cowboys are a good team. And they're pretty good. This is before our bye week. They're at their best early in the season. They only get worse as time goes on. We know that. Coaching, they don't have depth. It's what it is. Now, we're 4-1 against the third ranked team or ranked game, which is crazy to me. So, yeah, I want to win this game bad. It's not near as important as the divisional games or any of that. But, yeah, I want to win this game. All right, number 2. The second most difficult game on the 49ers 2024 schedule. The Chiefs at home. The Chiefs. I hate the Chiefs. I hate the Chiefs almost like the police hate the Chiefs. Every single week, just more players getting arrested. Some of them for dumb reasons. Some of them for very, very dumb reasons. But we play them October 20th. Chiefs are coming off a bye after a Monday Night Football game against the Saints. We get a -3 rest advantage. So, yeah, this frustrates me very bad. The fact that you play the Chiefs after a bye, the Cowboys after a bye, the Seahawks after a bye, the Bills after a bye. Like, I don't know if I said that right, but Seahawks, Chiefs, Cowboys, Bills. You play all those teams off a bye. All three of the 4 are playoff teams, and the other one is in your division. That's bullshit. It is total BS. Total. It's ridiculous. So, whatever. We're 2-3 against the number 2 overall game, and I just hate. I hate Patrick Mahomes, and I hate the Chiefs, and I hate Andy Reid, and we all do. They've caused us a lot of pain, but man, you got to get that monkey off your back. How do you do that? You punch him in the mouth. What's up, Cole? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. And so, I can't stand them. Can't stand the Chiefs. I went to grad school in Kansas City, and I didn't hate the Chiefs then. They sucked. They were terrible. I went to quite a few Chiefs games. Arrowhead's awesome. But man, I can't stand them. Anyway, so let's go to the number 1 overall difficult game. I messed it up earlier, and I apologize. This is week 13 at Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo coming off a bye. Before that, they're at home versus Kansas City. So from the Chiefs, bye week us, they just stay home. Whereas the 49ers have to travel to Green Bay. Then they got to travel to Buffalo. The furthest that they could possibly be. Actually, I wonder if Buffalo's closer than Miami. I think Buffalo might be closer, but weather-wise, it's going to be cold. Back-to-back road games, -7 rest advantage. Buffalo 10.6, games projected to win. And again, I said this earlier. I don't think Buffalo is on the same tier. The projected win totals say that they are, but I think like the Chiefs and the Lions are better than Buffalo. But man, you add in back-to-back road trips, off a bye week, weather, that's stupid. Now, the only thing that I will say that I'm cool with, it's an AFC opponent. You could do this against non-conference, non-division opponents because it doesn't matter with the playoff seeding. You're not messing with stuff. Whenever you do it against like the Seahawks, Cowboys to, a little bit lesser degree, but AFC games, that's fine. That's what, if I was hired and somebody could say like, look, you could tell the schedule makers one thing, make these imbalanced games against non-division, non-conference opponents. So whenever your schedule's out of whack, it should be out of whack for AFC versus NFC matchups because it doesn't affect playoff seedings. It has so much more weight on them. And so this, not saying that's good, I'm glad it's against an AFC team. Now, the Niners have struggled against AFC teams. Like, that's been their trouble issue, but that's not our responsibility. Our responsibility is win our division, which is a good division, and to win the conference. They've done that. Got to get over the edge. Can't get over the edge, Detroit Lions, if you don't make it to the Super Bowl. You can't do that. You don't get that opportunity. And so this schedule in a nutshell is fine. It really, really is. Yeah, there's some parts where you're horrible disadvantage. And there's not really any parts where you have an advantage. Because the biggest advantage you have is at the Bucks. You get off a bye week, but you're traveling across the country and it's an early kickoff in an East Coast time zone. You know, that was our 16th most difficult game. But it's like, come on, man. And like, something's got to be in our favor at some point. We're not playing a team off a bye at home. That's not happening. You know what I mean? The 3 teams are doing that to us. So, I don't know. Now, a couple odds and ends just to clear this up. My roster or my schedule prediction is 12-5. That's what I was last year. Turned out to be correct. I don't like going through and saying win, 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 loss, 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 loss. You know, I wait till we get closer because the NFL changes in a month status. It just does. But 12-5 makes sense. You know, what's our projected win? 11.2. Yeah, so I'm a little stronger on the 49ers than Vegas are, but by half a game. We have the 18th toughest schedule whenever you just look at all the teams we're playing and the Vegas predicted records, right? So we're right in the middle. Nothing to complain about there. The rest days, that's the complaint. The travel, we're 5th most travel. That's pretty good for the 49ers being a West Coast team. We've been like 1st or 2nd every single year. So 5th is fine. And again, I care about divisions. Seahawks 4th most traveled. Niners 5th most traveled. Rams 6th most traveled. That's equal. That is equal. Division, fair balance type whatever, that's what I want. And so whenever these hardcore advantages or sway games take place against the AFC team, it sucks, but I don't mind it near as much. So, man, this has been fun. And so, yeah, we got 11-6. There we go. Bronson says, where's Don Burr? He didn't even stay to say goodbye. Well, that's the thing with Lions fans. They can never make it to the end. So Don Burr, living true. And I like Don Burr. I really, really do. But that's just what it is. We will get the 1 seed. That's what I care most about. 15-2. Good Lord. Now, again, remember, the 49ers are favored every single game. Every single game currently. Injuries, things change. I doubt that it will still be that way, that we're favored at kickoff in all 17 games. I hope that's the case. This team's pretty damn good and well coached. We'll see. This has been fun. And again, if you haven't yet, if you plan on going out, our early bird pricing's up on 49ersrushroadtrip.com. Go get your tickets because, I mean, man, we have tickets for $10 right now to some of these events. Like, I don't think people understand how much it costs to rent out venues in cities on Saturday nights, whatever there's college football and all this stuff. Like, it's expensive. So if you're planning on going to any of these games, 49ersrushroadtrip.com. Go get your tickets now while they're cheap. They will only increase in price as the summer goes along. But I appreciate you guys. This was a lot of fun. 6th annual toughest games for the 49ers. Until next time, stay strong, faithful.